The story begins in a beautiful Australian wildlife park, home to some of the cutest and most adorable animals you've ever seen. Families and kids from far away come here every day just to see them. But among all those animals, the most loved and famous one was Pretty Boy, a cute, fluffy koala everyone adored. He even had his own Pretty Boy app, where people could watch him live 24/7. However, deep inside the park, there was also a place called the Dark House, a section where the dangerous and scary animals were kept. It had spiders, crocodiles, lizards, and snakes. This is where Chase Hunt and
his son Chazzy put on live shows for the visitors, showing off these deadly creatures. That day, it was Maddie's first time in the show. She was a taipan snake, one of the most venomous in the world. She was nervous but excited, thinking everyone would love her. But as soon as Chase Hunt announced that her venom could kill 100 people in just 10 seconds, the audience screamed and ran away in fear. Poor Maddie was heartbroken. Later that night, when all the animals were locked back in their cages, Maddie sat quietly, feeling sad and unwanted. Jackie, the kind-hearted crocodile, noticed and tried to cheer her up. She said, "People might be scared of us, Maddie, but that doesn't make us bad." Then Jackie asked everyone to share something about themselves. Fred the spider said he loved dancing. Nigel the scorpion said he wished the world was full of colors except yellow, which he absolutely hated. And Zoe, the thorny devil lizard, revealed that she was the smart one, always finding clever ways to escape. Still, Maddie didn't feel any better. Jackie smiled and said, "You're special too, Maddie. You can be anything you want to be." Maddie sighed and looked toward Pretty Boy. She said, "He's the special one. Everyone loves him. People wait in line just to hug him." Jackie softly replied, "Don't lose heart, Maddie. Someday people will love you too." Jackie then told them stories about the mountains where she grew up. Tall, beautiful, and peaceful places beyond the park. She said, "You all came from there too. You were just too young to remember. One day you'll go back." That night, everyone went to sleep with that dream in their hearts. The next morning, the dangerous animals were once again taken out for the show. And as usual, people screamed, ran, and threw things at them. Meanwhile, Pretty Boy was out there smiling for cameras, getting selfies, and soaking up all the attention. But suddenly, something unexpected happened. Chazzy, Chase's little boy, slipped and fell into Jackie's pool. Everyone panicked. They thought Jackie the crocodile would eat him, but instead, Jackie gently lifted the boy out of the water and saved him. Still, no one believed what they saw. Chase Hunt immediately assumed Jackie attacked his son and had her taken away from the park. Watching all of this on CCTV, Maddie and the others were heartbroken. Then Maddie had an idea. "What if we escape," she said, "and go to those mountains Jackie always talked about?" The others hesitated. "That place is too far," Zoe said, but Maddie replied, "I know you're scared, but did you see what happened to Jackie today? That could happen to any of us tomorrow. No one here loves us. They all think we're monsters. But out there, we'll be free. We'll find our families. We'll finally belong." Her words touched everyone's heart, so they decided to do it. They would escape that very night. With Zoe's clever tricks, they broke out of their cages. Then, sneaking past guards and alarms, they made their way toward the boundary fence. Freedom was just a few feet away. But suddenly, Pretty Boy noticed them. He started banging the bars loudly to raise the alarm. Maddie begged him, "Please stop. We're just going home." But Pretty Boy was spoiled and rude. He banged even louder. Finally, Nigel the scorpion stung him, knocking Pretty Boy unconscious. He tumbled down, bounced off a few things, and landed right in front of a camera. Maddie gasped, "We can't leave him here. If he wakes up and screams, everyone will find us." So she made a bold decision. They'd take Pretty Boy with them, and finally makes their escape from the park. After running for miles, they reach the ocean shore. In the distance, they spot what looks like the tall mountains Jackie once told them about. But when they get closer, they realize it's not the mountains, it's a city. Still, Maddie stays hopeful. "If we can just cross this city, we'll make it to our real home." They climb into a bird's nest that floats on the water and slowly drift across the sea. As the night sky shines above them, Maddie looks up at the stars and asks, "Hey, what are those sparkly things in the sky?" Fred the spider confidently guesses, "Oh, that's human dandruff. When people scratch their heads, the flakes fly up into the sky, and at night, they sparkle." Everyone actually believes him. But suddenly, the water beneath them starts to ripple. A massive shadow circles around them. A shark. Pretty Boy wakes up just in time, screaming, "Hey, why did you guys kidnap me?" Before they can answer, the huge shark rises from the water. The others panic, but then the shark smiles and says, "Relax, I'm not here to eat you. Name's Jacinta." Maddie explains their mission, that they're trying to reach the mountains and find their home. Jacinta grins. "Well, you've come to the right shark. I'm actually a secret agent. I work for the USS, the Ugly Secret Society." She explains that USS is a secret network of so-called ugly animals who help other creatures that humans fear or hate. In a world where cute koalas are loved and we're called monsters, she says, USS looks out for each other. Then Jacinta teaches them the secret password. "I'm ugly, you're ugly. Forget the past and future ugly, cause ugly is the new beautiful." Suddenly, a bunch of other sharks swim up. Jacinta quickly says, "Relax, guys. I'm just teaching them the password." Then she safely guides Maddie and her friends toward the city. Meanwhile, back at the wildlife park, Chaz Hunt and his son return to the Dark House, only to find every single dangerous animal missing. The guards tell him that even Pretty Boy was attacked. Hearing that, little Chazzy turns to his dad and says, "Dad, we've got to find them." He's eager to prove himself. He grew up hearing stories of his father capturing wild beasts, and now he wants to be just like him. So Chaz reluctantly agrees, and father and son head out on a full-scale hunt to track them down. The next morning, Jacinta drops the animals off at the city edge. Before leaving, she says, "Head toward the Blue Mountains once you cross the city, and remember the password, it could save your life." The gang looks around in shock. The city is massive and full of humans. Maddie whispers, "We'll have to stay hidden. If they see us, we're done for." But Pretty Boy, being his usual arrogant self, laughs. "Oh please, everyone loves me. I'm adorable. They'll probably take me back to the park." He struts confidently through the street, but instead of cheering, people start screaming in fear. Turns out, Chaz Hunt already told the news that Pretty Boy had rabies, and now he's wanted just like the others. Chaos breaks out. People run toward them with nets and sticks. Maddie and the group sprint for their lives, and Pretty Boy, terrified now, joins them too. Just as they're about to be caught, Maddie remembers Jacinta's words. Say the password, she shouts. All together they yell, I'm ugly, you're ugly, forget the past and future, ugly, ugly is beautiful. Suddenly, a manhole cover opens beneath them, and robotic spiders pull them underground. They've been rescued by the USS agents. Inside the dark tunnel, a group of spiders welcome them. Maddie says, we need to cross the city. Can you help us? One spider nods. Of course we can. But first, she signals others to attack Pretty Boy. Hey, what are you doing? Maddie yells. He's with us. The spiders back off, impressed by Maddie's courage. All right then, the leader says. Hold on tight. With that, they flush them all through a water pipe, sending them rushing through tunnels like a wild roller coaster. Maddie and her friends scream and laugh as they swirl through the pipes, and finally shoot out, landing right on top of an elevator of a tall building. Chaz and his son Chazzy finally spot the escaped animals. They jump into their truck and start chasing them through the city, but Maddie and her friends move fast. They duck and hide just in time, right under a lady reading a newspaper at a bus stop. The woman is too busy to notice, until she lowers her paper and sees a snake. She screams at the top of her lungs, and the gang quickly runs across the street, dodging cars and chaos. Meanwhile, Pretty Boy spots a TV in a shop window and freezes. The news is talking about him. It says that Pretty Boy, the beloved koala, has died from rabies, and now the cutest animal in the world title has been given to a new star. Pretty Boy stares in silence, remembering the days when everyone loved him, when people lined up to hug him, and now nobody even cares he's gone. As the others hop onto the back of a truck to get out of the city, Chazzy spots the license plate and notes it down. They're being tracked, only to hear someone singing from another room. When they peek in, they find two frogs trapped in metal cages. A couple deeply in love but held captive. They're slimy, goofy, and covered in muck. But when Maddie sees them, she feels bad. She slithers over and breaks them free. The frogs jump out in joy, thanking her again and again. To repay her kindness, they ask, is there anything we can do for you? Maddie says, we're trying to reach the Blue Mountains. Do you know how to get there? One frog nods. Sure, there's a school nearby. A bus leaves soon. It goes straight to the Blue Mountains. Excited, the group rushes to the school. When they arrive, the playground is full of loud, mischievous kids and dozens of yellow school buses. They look at each other, confused. Which one goes to the mountains? Then Nigel spots a girl wearing blueberry earrings. She must be from the Blue Mountains, he whispers. The gang decides to follow her, but Pretty Boy, tired and cranky, refuses to go any further. I'm done following you weirdos, he snaps. So Nigel just shrugs and stings him again. Pretty Boy faints instantly. The rest sneak behind the girl, but in the rush, they accidentally climb onto the wrong bus. Zoe, the clever thorny devil, quickly thinks of a plan. Let's ride on top, she says. They climb onto the roof of the moving bus, finally leaving the city behind. They cheer in excitement, finally free again. Meanwhile, Chaz and Chazzy reach the same school. After questioning a few terrified kids, they learn which direction the bus went. The chase is back on. The animals are actually enjoying themselves. The wind in their faces, the sound of kids laughing. For a moment it feels like freedom, but that moment doesn't last. Maddie looks back and sees Chaz's truck racing toward them. They found us, she shouts. The gang panics and hides inside the bus. Kids scream in fear as a snake crawl past their seats. The driver slams the brakes, and right then Chaz Hunt storms in. He looks around and orders everyone to stay calm. We're just looking for a few dangerous animals, but if you're helping them, you're in big trouble. Then pointing at Pretty Boy, he growls, these monsters killed the world's cutest koala. And with that, he throws Pretty Boy out of the bus. But one brave girl, the same one with blueberry earrings, decides to help. Just as Chaz turns back around, he searches every seat. Once he leaves, the girl gently opens her bag and sets them free. I know you're not dangerous, she says softly. You're just lost. The gang thanks her and jumps off the bus safely. For the first time, they realize, not all humans are like Chaz Hunt. They reach a cliff edge soon after, but when they look down, they see Pretty Boy lying motionless at the bottom. They fear the worst. Maddie, Fred whispers, I think he's gone. But suddenly, Pretty Boy opens his eyes. He's alive. Come on, Pretty Boy. We have to keep moving. But Pretty Boy just looks away and says quietly, I don't want to run anymore. I just want to go home. The others fall silent. For the first time, the spoiled little koala didn't sound selfish. He sounded broken. Suddenly, Chaz loses his footing and falls right down the cliff with them. Everyone screams. Chaz dangles from a rope, terrified, but in his panic, he grabs onto Maddie. Maddie struggles as her friends rush to help, but Chaz is strong. He grabs them too. Pretty Boy tries to step forward, but Chaz shoves him away angrily. He pulls out a syringe, ready to inject Maddie and knock her out. But then, for the first time, Pretty Boy feels something he's never felt before. Guilt. He can't just stand there. He remembers the secret password Jacinta taught them. He shouts, I'm ugly, you're ugly. Forget the past and future ugly. Ugly is beautiful. And suddenly, the ground starts shaking. 3 Tasmanian devils burst out of nowhere, the elite agents of the USS. They attack Chaz with full force, spinning and growling. Chaz screams and climbs back up the rope as fast as he can, terrified. The Tasmanian devils then help the group get safely out of the valley. Maddie looks at Pretty Boy and smiles softly. Thank you, you saved my life. Does this mean you don't hate me anymore? Pretty Boy shrugs, pretending not to care. Let's just say that was the first and last time I'm doing something nice, but deep down, both of them know the truth. He's changing. Meanwhile, up on the cliff, Chaz finally reaches the top, exhausted. Chazzy runs to him, saying, Dad, let's keep going. We can still catch them. But Chaz doesn't move. He looks tired, defeated. Son, there's something I need to tell you. I never caught a lion or a cheetah. All those stories I told you about being a hero were lies. I made them up so you could be proud of me. Chazzy looks shocked. Then, what did you really do? Chaz sighs. When I was a kid, I used to sell my aunt's pickles on the streets. Everyone called me a loser. One day, I saw an Australian guy catching a crocodile on TV, and everyone treated him like a hero. So I copied his look, his accent, his whole act. That's how I became Chaz Hunt, the legend. Chazzy asks quietly, did you lie about the animals too? Are they really as dangerous as you said? Chaz shakes his head. No, son, that part's true. They're dangerous, and I'll prove it. I'll catch them and show you I really am a hero. Chazzy pleads, Dad, we don't need to prove anything. Let's just go home. But it's too late. Obsession has taken over. Down below, the Tasmanian devils guide Maddie and her friends to a hidden trail. This path leads straight to the Blue Mountains, one of them says. The USS will make sure you get there safely. The animals thank them and continue their journey. As night falls, they stop to rest under the stars. It's quiet, almost peaceful. Maddie looks up, remembering Aunt Jackie, and starts humming a lullaby, the same one her mother used to sing to her when she was still in her egg. She tells her friends how she got separated from her mom during a massive tsunami, and her egg washed all the way into the desert, where she was found by Chaz Hunt. Pretty Boy listens silently. After a moment, he says softly, you know, at least you remember something about your mom. I don't remember mine at all. She died in an accident when I was little. For the first time, his voice breaks. Maddie looks at him him with warmth and says, "We can't change the past, pretty boy, but a new life is waiting for us. We just have to keep going." And for the first time, Pretty Boy smiles. Genuinely, the two of them are finally friends. The next morning, they set off again, following the winding path through the hills. Soon, they spot a family of koalas resting on a tree. Pretty Boy freezes. It's his kind, his family, or at least it could have been. He slowly walks toward them, his fur brushed, his face clean, trying to look perfect one last time. Maddie stops him gently. "Let him go," she whispers to her friends. He won't say it, but he's saying goodbye. They all watch quietly as Pretty Boy walks up to the other koalas, smiling through teary eyes. Maddie looks down, realizing she's going to miss him too. The group keeps moving forward until finally, they see it, the Blue Mountains. Their real home. Their eyes fill with joy as they race toward the hills, only to find dozens of animals just like them. Snakes, spiders, crocodiles, and lizards, all living peacefully together. For the first time, they feel like they truly belong. But before they can celebrate, the other animals suddenly hide back in their burrows. The reason? Chaz Hunt has arrived, and he's not alone. He and his men capture Nigel, Zoe, and Frank inside a glass tank. Maddie panics. She can't just leave them. She rushes forward to help, but accidentally crashes right into Chazzy. Both of them scream in fear, then stare at each other in shock. For the first time, Chazzy realizes this snake isn't scary at all. Just then, Chaz grabs Maddie and locks her inside a box. Chazzy watches in silence, feeling awful. He finally understands these creatures aren't monsters. So as his father drives off, Chazzy secretly throws Maddie's box out of the truck, setting her free. But her friends are still trapped inside the Jeep. Maddie lies on the ground, devastated. She looks up at the mountains and whispers, "Please help me save them." The animals nearby peek out from their burrows, but shake their heads nervously. "We're sorry," one says. "We don't go outside. It's too dangerous." Maddie pleads, "You're my family. You're the reason I made it this far. Please don't give up now." But they turn away, too afraid to fight. And then, a familiar voice speaks. "Looks like you could use some help." Maddie's eyes widen. "Pretty boy, you came back?" He nods. "I tried living with the other koalas, but I didn't feel like I belonged. You guys are my family now." Maddie smiles as he hugs her. "Then let's bring our friends home." They sneak into a firefighter garage, where Pretty Boy finds an old fire truck. "Good thing I watched enough humans drive these things," he jokes, jumping behind the wheel. The two of them race off, roaring straight toward Chaz's convoy. Chaz spots them in the mirror and growls. "You've got to be kidding me." He orders his men to attack, but Maddie and Pretty Boy dodge every hit. They reach the cages, smashing them open and freeing their friends. Just then, their truck loses balance and crashes. Pretty Boy gets thrown off, landing hard near a biker, but Maddie swoops in and saves him just in time. They jump on the motorcycle together, Pretty Boy driving, Maddie clinging on, and zoom straight toward the Jeep where their friends are held. In one quick move, they grab everyone and speed away. Chaz roars and gives chase, his powerful gun firing nets and tranquilizers at them. But then, out of nowhere, the wild animals from the valley appear. They've finally found their courage. They charge toward Chaz's men, knocking over vehicles and blocking their path. Even the beetles join in, rolling giant boulders down the cliffs, sending Chaz's goons tumbling off the road one by one. Maddie and her friends race ahead, reaching a bridge that hangs over a deep canyon. But as Chaz's truck collides with falling rocks, it slips off the edge, dangling dangerously. Chazzy screams. Maddie and her friends rush to pull him up. With all their strength, they save him. But in the process, Maddie's old skin peels away, and for the first time, everyone sees her true colors, bright, beautiful, and glowing. Even Chaz is speechless. He slowly realizes these creatures were never monsters. They were just misunderstood. He hugs Maddie and his son tightly. "Thank you. You saved my boy and me." Back in the valley, all the animals cheer as Maddie and her friends return. The frogs are there too, the same ones who helped them on their journey. And then a familiar voice echoes through the canyon. "Welcome home. It's Aunt Jackie." Everyone runs to her in joy. The frogs salute her and say, "She's not just Jackie, she's the head of the USS." Everyone gasps. Jackie smiles. "I kept an eye on you the whole time. I knew you could make it." The gang hugs her tightly. They're finally home, safe, loved, and free. And that's how a bunch of ugly animals proved that beauty isn't about looks. It's about heart, courage, and friendship. If you enjoyed this heartwarming adventure, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more amazing movie recaps, and remember, sometimes the wildest journeys lead us home.